Good morning, Baton Rouge, and we are back. We are back with a dual episode of today's What's Going On. Again, you are listening to What's Going On. My name is Dr. James Gilmore, and we are talking about entrepreneurship, and we are talking about building strong businesses here in Baton Rouge and across the state. We just had great conversation. If you missed it, you can look online on social media. We just had a great conversation with the Youth Entrepreneurship Academy, as well as the Southern University Small Business Development Center, talking about the resources that they have to help young people who are interested in entrepreneurship, as well as adults who are entrepreneurs in providing free services to grow their businesses and start their businesses. And I'm continuing the conversation because I must say I know so many people who want to be a contractor. And so that's why I decided to focus today's show about how to become a licensed contractor because it's a booming business. We will always have development and growth in our cities and towns across this nation and the world. But so many people I've run into don't really understand the rules or know how to become a licensed contractor. So I have Mr. Brad Hassert here with me this morning. So glad he answered the email request. This is our first time meeting to join me this morning on What's Going On to talk about the state requirements to become a licensed contractor. Brad, thank you so much for joining.
We're very glad to be here. And
Thank
I'd like
you.
to help
Thank
everybody
you.
out.
Great. So first, tell us about yourself and tell us about the Louisiana State Contractors Association.
Well, the Contractors Board is the licensing agency for all type of contractors within the state. Mm-hmm. We help you get an application. We help you get your required test. We'll issue you a license, and we essentially monitor your business activities and your progress through on to ensure that everybody does follow those rules.
Okay. Yeah, because we want to make sure that citizens have licensed contractors who work is insured and work is held to a certain standard based on your rules.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, our goal is to make sure that we can put in front of the consumer, the citizens, a contractor who has been vetted, and we can say that we have positively identified them as a real business, that they understand how to operate a business, and that they've taken some measure of testing to prove the ability to do the work properly. And in a lot of cases, to obtain that license, some insurances are absolutely mandatory and required, and we'll ensure that happens as well.
Gotcha.
Try to kill everybody moving forward. If you're working on your house, if it's storm damage or just a renovation, to visit our website and to interview a few contractors and make sure you do hire a licensed contractor. There's a lot of benefits to that.
Okay. So, first of all, where's your office located?
Our office is in downtown Baton Rouge. It's at 600 North Street.
Okay.
And it's right there, right on North Street. Come by and see us. Everything that we can do for you there. If you don't want to come down and see us in person, you can visit us at our website. It's lacontractor.org. All the requirements for holding a license and obtaining a license are on there. There's a list of licensed contractors throughout the state. You can search them by the company name, by the owner name, or you can just search them by the parish that you're in. You can do kind of an advanced search that way. If you're looking for an electrical contractor in Plaquemine per se, you can search for Plaquemine Parish and pick electrical, and it'll give you the list of all the electrical contractors that are in Plaquemine.
Okay, so great. So if folks want to know if the person they're hired is really licensed to do the work, they can go to your website and search their business or their name as a verification that they're qualified and licensed.
A lot of times, some unscrupulous guys and girls could say that they're licensed. I can tell you that our website is live. It's up to date, up to the minute. You can check our website. If they're not on the website, they're not licensed.
They're not licensed.
We also have a phone app. It's LA Contractor. Again, it's Apple and Android devices. You can download that. Same information is available there.
Okay. So how does one become a licensed contractor? And from my minimal knowledge, there are a couple types of licensed contractors that are out there. So
there are. Basically, we're going to break it down to a commercial type contractor or a residential type contractor.
Okay.
And there's different requirements for each. A residential contractor is going to be required to take some type of a test to be able to do work. We're going to do a background check on them to make sure that they're not somebody who has proven to be incapable of handling your money. You know, when you think of a contractor, I think most guys and girls think about somebody showing up with a hammer and some 2x4s, and that's often the case. But you're going to give these guys and girls some money, a significant portion of money for a down payment or maybe for a progress payment. And we want to make sure that there's no evidence that in the past they've mishandled somebody else's money. So we do that. For residential contracting, you're required to obtain a license to provide workers' comp for your employees and a liability policy to protect the consumer on the project that they're working on.
Okay.
So
Other question is, what's on the test? That's what I get a lot.
everything, everything is on the test. So the residential contractor's license, it essentially is a small portion of every scope of work involved in residential construction. The test is top secret, obviously. You know, I haven't seen the test myself.
Gotcha.
We have a section that handles the test, and,
Gotcha.
and they guard that very closely, obviously, because everybody
Yes.
wants the answers.
Yes,
right.
right.
But I do know that there's some portions of the test of foundation and some portions of the test on electrical and some on roofing. Everything that you can think of to build a residential structure, there's a portion of that on that test.
Okay, gotcha. So that's the residential side.
Yes.
Now, what does becoming a commercial licensed contractor look
A
like?
commercial contractor, the process is essentially the same. The test is a little bit different because the standards and the codes for commercial structures are a little bit different. And remember, we license all type of contractors, not only building contractors, but we would license somebody who builds a highway or a bridge
Okay.
or an industrial plant, things
Okay.
such as that.
Okay.
You know, anything that is essentially built for commerce is going to fall on the commercial side, and we license every bit of that. Every bit of that. The road that you're driving on right now is built by a licensed contractor. The building that you walked into to buy your coffee in the morning in the grocery store was built by a licensed contractor. And the goal there is, of course, the same, to ensure that the contractor understands the process and understands the practices and the code, so we can put a safe structure together for the community to come into.
Absolutely.
An unlicensed person, I'm not going to tell you that they don't necessarily know what they're doing, but we haven't proven that as of yet. And just like everything else that is in the state today, you want something competent and you want something that's going to stay with you a long time, and it's of quality. So the testing part is important, I think, to obtain that license, because we've measured that to some degree already.
Gotcha. So how does one go about applying, or is the test taken, you know, is it online? Is it taken only a certain time of the year? Is it taken once a month? How does one start the process to even to get to the test?
Well, to get to the test, and I'm going to explain all your test questions, but I'm going to tell you how you get to the test.
Okay.
If you'll visit our website, again, it's lacontractor.org, there's a section on there for the application portion. So you can fill out your application. It's almost entirely online. It's an online process. You'll submit that information. As that information is verified for accuracy, and as we go through the process, we will give you an opportunity to schedule your test. You essentially take the test on your own,
Okay.
at your own schedule.
Okay, gotcha.
And we test at our Baton Rouge office, and we test at 9 or 10 different testing sites throughout the state as well, remotely.
Gotcha.
The scheduling portion is up to you. If there's if you absolutely have to test today, and the only place you can find a place to take a test is in Monroe, you can go to Monroe and take the test. If you want to work around, your schedule, we test at the office Monday through Thursday, every single day, all day. I think we can take 12 to 14 people at a time. We're probably a couple weeks out right now as the norm, as people schedule in, but the remote locations are often an option as well. There's one in Ascension. I know that there's one in Lafayette or Lake Charles, if not both. I mean, as you go further around, they all go all the way to St. Bernard Parish. They go to Monroe. They're in Shreveport. They're everywhere.
Okay.
So taking the test is just simply a matter of submitting your application and following through and getting it scheduled and taking the test.
This may be a question that you can answer. I'm not sure if you all have studied this, but does having experience matter or impact an application. Let's say someone hasn't been licensed, but they've been in the construction field for 5, 10, 20 years. Does that help when it comes to test taking and application? Or sometimes the folks who may have those years of experience still not pass and get licensed?
Well, I think that we're talking about two sort of different things here. It doesn't help in the application process because the application process is essentially the same as applying for a driver's license or a mortgage. We're collecting your information to verify your identity, to make sure you are who you say you are. Believe it or not, that we have some problems with that, just like everybody else does. But as far as the experience, I don't know how it could do anything but help you when it comes to taking the test. The test it's real world based. It's based upon things that you would absolutely see during a construction phase.
So having that experience should definitely help.
That may be there. That may help you for that.
Is there a study guide?
On every test that we give, our website's really key here, lacontractor.org. If you visit our website, there's a section in the website that will give you every license class that's available. And if you go to the far right of that page, there's a section that's called a bulletin. That bulletin will tell you essentially what that classification will allow you to do, to be licensed to do. It'll tell you most likely, I think all of them do now, will give you a small portion of 10% of the exam is this and 10% of the exam is that. It'll give you kind of a breakdown of what the exam process is, and it'll list a bunch of study materials that the test was taken from.
Okay, very good. So the website sounds as if it's a great resource for the application process, as well as
who wants to be a contractor. I can tell you that we've taken a lot of steps and strides to make it as user friendly as we can. Knowing the world that we live in today, everybody wants to do it on their phone, or they want to, while they're watching TV at home. You can find out almost anything that you could possibly want to find out strictly from our website. Not to get you off topic, but we talked about rules and to follow the contracting law. Every version of contracting law is on our website. It's going to be really hard for a contractor to say, I didn't know. It's there. It's in black and white. It's under a section that says rules and regulations. And
contracting law is obviously probably on the test. Understanding
to a certain degree it is. To a certain degree it is.
Wow, and what's that website again?
It's lacontractor.org.
Listen, you all, I'm here with the Louisiana State Contractor Board, a representative from their office, and they have just broken down how to become a residential or commercial contractor. Lots of information is on their website. You have to visit it, including the application, as well as a breakdown of the various types of licenses and even some study materials. So for all of you all that are interested in becoming a builder one day, be it residential or commercial, you should definitely check out the website. You should definitely apply, but you should also understand that background check and many other things come along with getting it. Now let's talk about maintaining your license. What are some things that are required to keep your contractor's license, or what are some things that you could possibly lose your contractor's license?
Well, let's focus on the positive. Okay. So to keep your license, there's some continuing education requirements. They're not extreme, but they are needed and necessary. Keep up with your continuing education every year. Obviously, we want you to pay your renewal fee so we can continue to track you. It's a nominal amount. I think it's like $75 or $100 annual. And if you're in one of those license classifications where insurance is required, we're going to need you to supply us proof of your insurance every year. So that's how you can keep it. How you can lose it?
Several ways, huh?
There's a million ways that you can lose it. I will just say that if we follow the rules that are very clearly outlined for you, the entire section of law dedicated to contractor licensing is about 40 pages. The rule section is about 10. And it's written by lawyers, so there's a lot of words in it. So 10 pages of lawyer writing is not a lot.
Right.
So it really comes down to do the right thing by your consumer or by your customer.
Doing the right thing.
Do the right thing. Don't take advantage of people, and don't shortcut the process.
Right.
Do the right thing, and you won't have any problems keeping your license. If you don't necessarily do the right thing, and for some reason we find out about that or come across that, you may not keep your license.
Right. So this has been a great conversation with Mr. Brad Hassard at the Louisiana State Contractors Board. He's enlightened us about how to become a licensed contractor. Brad, you want to give that website one more time?
I'll give it 2 more times. It's lacontractor.org, and it's lacontractor.org. Every information that you need for obtaining a license or finding a contractor is on that website.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on this morning. Listening audience, please watch this show and share it with others who may be interested in becoming a licensed contractor. It's a very detailed process now, but you have to start somewhere. So go online, learn about the application process, learn about the testing process, learn about the background checks, learn about the law, and learn about all of the other requirements. And if it's your dream to become a residential or commercial contractor, don't be afraid. Start the process, apply, and see where it takes you. Again, thank you so much, Brad, for coming here to Southern Coffee this morning for this show. Thank you, listening audience. Please don't forget to share this with others on your social media. I want to thank the producer, Eugene Collins, as well as LaDante Lotz for your services to this show. And again, wishing you all the very best rest of your day and your week. You have been listening to What's Going On. My name is Dr. James Gilmore. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great one.